$451,000 in total debt. $252,000 of that is student loans. And I have $185 in a home loan. And I only bring in $70,000 a year. After pension and all that stuff taken out, it's more like $40,000. I just don't even know where to start.
What do you do for a living?
Law enforcement.
Okay. And how do you get $252,000 in student loan debt to be a policeman?
I went to a private institution because my mother wanted me to go there, to be honest with you. And I went there originally for finance, and I didn't do good at finance, so I switched my major to criminal justice, and then I eventually went on for a master's for it as well, which didn't really help my employment eligibility as much as I thought it would.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is your mother wealthy?
No. No, my mother nor my father. I'm the first in my family to go to college.
Okay. Well, what we always look at mathematically, and you were in finance, so you know what to do with this, is I'm always looking at the ratio of what we call shovel to hole. The amount of hole that you're in versus the shovel that you have, your income. The debt you have to your income. Are you married?
No, I do have a girlfriend who lives with me and her daughter as well.
And what is this house worth?
The house is worth, I actually just purchased it. I'm not even going to, I purchased it in September. Kind of off of a whim. My father passed away in July, and it was the last conversation we had. It was actually across the street from his house, and he really wanted me to get it. So I kind of, jumped in both feet, I guess, to honor him.
Yeah. And so you didn't put anything down, so the house is worth $185.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you're how old?
I'm 31.
Okay. So when are you planning on marrying this girl?
She's currently in school to finish up for nurse practitioner school. So I would say maybe sometime after that. That should be done hopefully after January.
And does she have student loan debt?
She does.
How much?
I'm not sure because she's not really on board with all this. She can't. I've tried to bring this up to her when listening to your show recently, and her thing is I'm too busy with school and don't want to worry about that right now.
Yeah. Well, I think you're the voice of experience that says it's a good idea to worry about it. Otherwise, you end up a creek, which is where you are right now, and your paddle is real small. You and I haven't been friends long enough for me to be as blunt as I'm about to be, but I'm going to tell you anyway, okay? I'm going to risk our friendship and just tell you the truth, okay? You told me in a 5-minute conversation of 2 really stupid financial decisions you made from the influence of your mother and your father.
Right.
You bought things you couldn't afford with money you didn't have, both because of influence of those two. At 31 years old, you're going to have to decide to love your parents but no longer be influenced to do financial decisions based on their opinions. Obviously, your father, God rest his soul, has passed, but even your perceived opinion of what he would have thought. You cannot please these people anymore. They are breaking your butt. You make $70,000 a year and you're so far in debt you can't breathe, dude.
Right.
Buying a house you can't afford and going to a school you shouldn't have gone to and paid 2 or 3 times as much for an education that most of which you didn't even need to do the job you do. Am I wrong?
Right. No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right. And so, number 1, that influence has to stop. Number 2, you can't afford this house as a single guy making $70,000 a year. You cannot afford a $185,000 house making $70,000 a year as a single guy. With $250,000.
Well, my girlfriend's bringing in about $89,000.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't count. You're not married. And if you're going to get married, you guys are going to have to get on the same page financially, because the number one cause of divorce in North America today is money fights and money problems, and she's not even willing to talk about money. So we're not willing to talk about marriage until we're willing to talk about money. Because you're going to get divorced as soon as you get married. That's what happens to most people. It is the number one cause of divorce. How long have you been on the force?
4 years.
Okay. When you go on a domestic call, what are they fighting about? Money.
Usually money, yeah.
Okay. Tell me I'm wrong, all right? This is what's happening. And it's a dangerous call for you, too, because people are crazy.
Right.
But, oh, Lord. So, yeah, you guys have got to sit down and go, we can't keep this house unless we're getting married, and we're not getting married unless we're going to get on the same page about the money. And we can't combine our incomes with people we're not married to. You can't go paying her debt. She can't go paying your debt. And this house isn't hers. It's yours. It's not in her name. It's in your name. So either let's just go ahead and get married and combine everything and attack these 2 student loan debts and try to keep the house, or let's just call it a day and get rid of the house, and then you guys figure out what you're going to do with your relationship and stuff later. Go rent something or whatever you're going to do, whatever you're doing before. But you know, so several big issues I've already hit on real hard. Number one, we can't afford a house. Number two, you guys, you need to be real careful about pursuing a long-term relationship until you can get on the same page about money. Number three, unless you're married, you can't afford this house. Did I mention you can't afford this house? And then lastly, we got to do everything we can to get your income up with side hustle, side gigs. And you can get all kinds of OT in the department, right?
My department, not so much.
Okay.
I'd have to actually go I'd have to go outside of my department.
Oh, okay. They allowed you to do side work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good money.
Right.
Yeah, security is what, $40-$50 an hour, right? Particularly
yep.
Private security, yeah. And you need that money because you're broke.
Right.
So income up, out, go down, get real focused and real narrowed in your decision making so that you can clean this mess up. Because what you've got in front of you, this $252,000 student loan debt with a $70,000 income, is a mathematical nightmare. So we got to get your income up over 100. I'm going to guess and say you guys get married, and we're probably dealing with almost a $200,000 income at that point when the two of you are going, right? And But I'm also going to guess she's got a big pile of student loans too, so I'm probably dealing with $400,000 of student loan debt at that point. So probably you still can't afford the house. You're probably still going to rent something cheap, and you're not going to have any life for a while because you both have made a big hole that you're in, and you can't get out of a hole while you're digging at the bottom.